No, this is not a weed. It's
beautiful quinoa grain. It's light-colored, good-sized, and quite firm, which means it's the right time for threshing.
Quinoa is a recent arrival in Jonas Schulze Niehoff's fields. The organic farmer likes to test out new crops. When he took over his father's farm 8 years ago, the fields were planted with the usual spelt, oats, potatoes, and maize. The dark, fertile soil in this part of eastern Germany is rich in nutrients, but there's a problem.
It's gotten much drier here, and we just don't harvest as much grain as we used to.
To secure his livelihood, the farmer is now experimenting with quinoa, the ancient Inca grain which is native to the Andes of South America.
The issue is not only the current economic situation, but what will happen tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, and 3 years from now. Given all that, I need to be experimenting with new crops today. It's part of being an entrepreneur. You take risks, sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. The trick is to win more than you lose.
At first, he was starting from scratch. He didn't even have a source for the seeds. Learning by trial and error, which 6 years on is starting to bear fruit. Schulze Niehoff is an exception in his region in northeastern Germany, but he does have allies.
Hallo Jonas.
Agricultural scientist Ute Grauwinkel also believes that the agriculture sector in Germany needs to adjust to climate change. She contacted Schulze Niehoff to find out more about his experiences.
We've talked enough, played enough politics, and have thought long enough on what's to be done. It's time for action.
Together they measure the soil moisture content of the field.
Wow, you can see how dry it is.
3.1.
Less than 10%, they both say, is too little for the usual spelt, oats or wheat.
It's so dry that we might have to consider a change and make the switch from grains to chickpeas, because they'd probably cope with drought. We'll see.
So far, the farmer is only growing quinoa on 2.5% of his land. Spelt and potatoes are still his main source of income. But in the meantime, a native of subtropical regions has moved into fourth place, the chickpea.
The soil is hot. Wow.
With its feathery leaves, it would have a key advantage in coping with drought.
The dew that gathers overnight ends up here. Even when it's completely dry, you still have a little bit of moisture. And chickpeas, of course, also have a nice deep root system.
The organic farmer is pleased with the quinoa harvest. Because of the hot weather, it dried much faster than usual this year.
Too dry.
The yield for the grains he normally grows dropped by 20%, another sign that he's on the right track.
I need to expand my horizons. The world is constantly changing, and we have to change with it.
Jonas Schulze Niehoff believes that climate change will bring more drought to this part of Germany. Farmers will have no choice but to adapt to that, and he wants to be prepared.